Class 8, last week we had started lesson number 2 in literature, that is a narrow escape. And before completing it, let us have a short view or quick view of what we read in that chapter. You had come to know that narrator's uncle, narrator's uncle's family had decided to move to the new place, that is Kurseong, due to Second World War, as it was not safe for them to live there. So they had decided to send Tapa, the grandson of the uncle's eldest aunt. Tapa had been sent on a recce of the house so that he could get all the information of the new area. And when Tapa went there, he approached the watchman and he got necessary information from him also. And he got to know that the rental place, it's quite furnished, well furnished, and he liked it so much that he decided to return back on the next morning. But he found that the day when he went there, it started raining. Now let us continue with the same chapter, and find out what happened then. Clear? It started raining cats and dogs, and Tapa realized that somebody was knocking at the door. Now come to the next page, that is page number 18. Let's start. Tapa opened the door and saw a rickety. Rickety is a word which tells you that whosoever has come so weak and thin, not very strong, frail. An old Englishman who came. An old Englishman with a small briefcase in hand, small sort of box in hand, with which you can in which you can carry your necessary things. So he had one small briefcase in hand, and drenched, completely wet. Drenched means completely wet to his skin, staring back at him. There were patches of moss and mud on the trousers. Means his trousers, it was so muddy. And as it was raining so heavily, so Tapa thought that he assumed that the man may have slipped and fallen somewhere. His cheeks were hollow, as he was not very strong, he was very weak, so his cheeks were very hollow. And his face was pale. He was shivering in the cold, his teeth chattering incessantly. Chattering means it was touching each other. When you feel severe cold, you also the teeth rubs. It gets rubbed against each other. So he was chattering constantly, you can see. May I please come in? He asked. Who asked? The old Englishman. He asked Tapa, may I come in? Of course. What a day, Tapa blurted. Blurted means exclaimed. What a day. Why he has said this? Because it was raining so heavily. Why don't you change into some warm clothes and have some tea, please? He tried to play a perfect host. Means he wanted to show that he is really a gentle host, kind host. He was trying to give a good hospitality to the Englishman, and he was taking care of him, as he was completely drenched and he was not so strong too. Then the two beds in the bathroom had a blanket each. Bedroom. Two beds were arranged in the bedroom, and they both contained what? The blanket. After tea, the Englishman opened his briefcase to reveal wads of 100-rupee notes. Means taken out the bunches of 100-rupee notes, which he carefully laid out on the mat to dry. So what did he do? He took out the pads of the bunches of 100 rupees note from the briefcase, and he put it on the floor in order to get them dry. Then he slipped into bed, but he kept shivering with two blankets. Still he was feeling very cold. still he was shivering. Okay, in spite of having two blankets, the two blankets were not able to stop the coolness. Okay, so Tapa tugged means put, you can say, his most favorite hot water bottle under man's feet so that he could feel the warmth of the hot water bottle. Okay, he kept under his feet. Then he had dinner and fell fast asleep. Means he had slept a sound sleep. Okay. The rain continued for 3 days at a stretch. Now, children, you have come to know that Tyapa had decided that he will go back to his family, to his uncle's family, the next morning. But due to rain, as it was continuously raining for 3 days, so he couldn't go. Okay, so at a stretch means continuously it had been raining. It was no great surprise that they soon ran out of food. Few items were arranged only. Nobody was living in that house. That's why very less things were arranged. So it was obvious that they had stayed there for 3 or 4 days or 2 or 3 days, and soon the necessary things which were arranged earlier, they all ran out, means about to finish. Tapa searched the kitchen and located a small primus. Primus means movable. Okay, you can carry from that stove from one place to another. Stove and torn umbrella. So he managed to get an umbrella and a stove. He ran to the corner shop to get rice, lentils, potatoes, onion, and bottle of oil. So he went out, and in order to get the necessary things. Okay, necessary things so that they could live comfortably there. However, trying to light the stove was another matter. It was difficult for them to light the stove. He would have surely burned the house down had not the Englishman come running and adjusted the flame. As it was quite new experience to him, he did not know how to light the stove. So he might have burnt all the house. Okay, burned the house had not the Englishman came running and managed adjusted the flame. Clear? Tapa's visitor was very affable. Affable, you can say he was very kind, he was very friendly nature. He had very high fever, yet refused to have anything but tea and condensed milk. He did not want to have anything except milk and tea. Although Tapa was a wee bit curious means little bit. Wee bit means little bit curious. The old man consciously avoided talking about his bank notes. Instead, he simply stacked them back into the briefcase once they had tried. Tapa wanted to ask few questions from Englishman, but he was avoiding his questions, and it seemed as if he did not want to talk about the dried notes. Okay? Beams of bright sunshine flooded the room on the third day. The sky was clear and blue. It means after third day, the rain stopped. The sky was clear and blue. Tapa packed his bags, bid farewell to the Englishman, and left for station. So, third day he decided to go back because now the rain had stopped. So he packed his bags, everything, arranged his necessary things, and bid farewell to Englishman. On his return to Calcutta, they had been living where in Calcutta, and they had decided to move to Kurseong. So Tapa was sent on a recce where Kurseong. Okay, so on his return to Calcutta, he was told that the family had decided to go to Khatsila instead. Now, when he went back to Kurseong, to uncle's family, in order to and wanted to give all the information about the rental place, rental house, he got surprised. What surprised? That the family had moved to Khatsila instead of moving to Kurseong. Why? Because he had taken too long time to return. Who had taken too long time to return? Tyapa. Why? Because of the heavy rain, he couldn't come back on time. He couldn't inform them on time about the rental area. So they had, as it was too dangerous to live there. Okay, it was the time of Second World War and the place was being bombed. Okay, so they had already shifted to Ghatsila, the family, uncle's family. Clear? So his eldest aunt had already left for the place the previous day, a day before. Aunt had already shifted. Aunt had already left for the place. Okay, the turn of event quite upset Tapa. Turn of event means he was very happy when he was coming back. He was happy to give them news about the new place because he had found all the necessary items there, all the necessary things there which a family needs to live. But when he came back, he found that the family had already been moved, or the aunt who had sent Tapa on a recce, she had already moved to the another place and the place name is Ghatsila. That's why, and all these things upset. Because of all these things, he got upset. He was quite upset. Okay, 15 years passed by, and then they had started living wherever they had moved. Okay, and the days passed by. Okay, and 15 years passed by. Okay, Tapa was a family man now. Earlier he was a boy, he was a young man. Okay, now he had a family too. It means he got married and he had a family. Once deciding to visit Kurseong during puja vacations, he looked up the same house again. Now, see how the time had flown over. Okay, now once again he had come to Kurseong in order to attend some puja vacations, in order to have some puja ceremonies. He looked up the same house again in Kurseong. It was available. Okay, he had to come to Kurseong for some puja ceremony, and again he had taken the same rental place. Okay, and it was available. It was there. This time he voluntarily undertook the responsibility of inspecting it, and he had willingly taken the responsibility of inspecting the new house. Hence, on reaching the place, he deposited his suitcase with a station master and quickly walked up to the house. He planned to return that very evening. So, and he had tried to leave all his things and hand over all his things to station master, and he went on a recce of that area once again and decided that the very evening he will go back. Okay, so remaining portion to be completed in the next video. Okay, but let us discuss the assignment which I gave you last week. In spite of having explained the lesson or the portions which I taught you in such a nice way, you children have not written the answers correctly. Though I explained in the beginning of the chapter only what do you mean by the phrase a narrow escape. Very few children have written the right answer, and only those children who have watched or listened the video carefully, only those children have written carefully. Other children, they have really not done well. So again, watch the video again, the first part also and the second part also. Okay, so and do the corrections. Clear? Word meanings you have done well. Okay, but I had given you fill up the blanks, in which I had given you that narrow escape. What does narrow escape means? You know, narrow escape at the beginning of the chapter only I had explained you that narrow escape means when you manage to come out safely from a dangerous situation, or when a dangerous situation or unfavorable situation is avoided. Okay, so and the story took place where? During During it has been written means you'll have to write during Second World War. Okay, and Tapa was Tapa. Tapa was the grandson, okay, of eldest aunt. You can say the eldest aunt's grandson. Tapa was, okay, and the family decided to move to Kurseong. That is the beginning. That has been given in the beginning of the chapter. But at the end, we came to know that now we had come to know that the family had moved to Garchila. But here it is given that the family where they had decided to shift to Kurseong. Then who sent? Then question answer had given you one word or in one sentence. Who sent Tapa on a recce of the house? Eldest aunt. Uncle's eldest aunt had decided to send Tapa on a recce of the house. Okay, and which road Tapa took to his destination? That is Bow Hill Road. Okay, and why the family had decided to move to a new place? Because of the Second World War, as the place was being bombed. Okay, so that's all. So easy answers to write, and that's why I'm saying please pay concentration on each and every word. Read each and every word of the book so that you could come to know the suitable answers to the questions. Now rest in the upcoming video. Clear?